It's a good game. It's a good game. I'm not gonna lie. You know, like, and the crazy thing is I remember almost nothing of this when I played this on Wii. But we're talking. Ooh boy, man, I was still living in Glendale, California. That was back 2008, 2009, somewhere around then. I mean, so we're talking almost 20 years ago, and I don't remember. Like I didn't remember any. Well, that's not true. I remembered some of it, but not very much. Not very much. And so to kind of replay this again was fantastic because it does show, like, obviously the beginnings of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and you know, so they must really cherish this one. They must really like this a lot, and it was good. You know, like, this is one of the kind of the forgotten ones. You know, I've always said that I think the most underrated one is Zelda 2. But having played this again, I kind of think this is, you know, I think this is forgotten about. You've got Twilight Princess, everybody still talks about, and then you have this one, you know. But like I don't think the Wii did as well as I think they probably thought it was going to do, because the Wii was way ahead of its time. The Nintendo Wii was way ahead of its time, and you could tell they kind of understood what they, you know, they knew where they wanted to go with it, but I don't think people were really ready for it. You know, nowadays with people all over the place with, you know, like virtual reality stuff like that, you know, like the Meta Quest and whatever the PC one is, I can't remember what it's called, but you know, with all the virtual reality and everything. I think people would appreciate the Wii now more than they did when it came out. But when it came out, I don't think people were ready for video games that, you know, you were supposed to like be up and moving around for, and the motion controls and all this stuff. We're still used to having a controller kind of sitting in, you know, behind a computer monitor, a TV screen, and just playing video games. And that's not what this was supposed to be about. This was supposed to be, you know, something where you're moving around and you're raising the Wii Nunchuck so you can do the Skyward strikes and stuff like that. And it was supposed to be a very interactive game, and I think it got a bad rap just because it happened to be on that system. Now, coincidentally, I played Twilight Princess on the Nintendo Wii, but that was just because I didn't have a GameCube, you know, when that game originally came out. But you had two for the GameCube. You had Wind Waker, which is a great one, and then Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess is still, you know, like, I mean, I really like it. It's not my personal favorite, but it's one of the ones that, you know, I feel like a lot of people talk about. And then this kind of came out fairly shortly afterwards. You know, like, I mean, they ported Twilight Princess to the Wii. And then you had this and Twilight Princess going at the same time, and you know, I just don't think people appreciated the motion controls at the time. You know, Nintendo's always kind of been like a forward-thinking system, right? I mean, the Nintendo Switch was the only handheld system for fucking ever. You know, they came out with the Game Boy first, you know, and then there was the Sega Game Gear, which didn't do as well. You had the PSP, which was great, but it, you know, Nintendo had already kind of moved on, and so I think this kind of gets lost in the discussion for how good it really is. But you can tell that the creators of Zelda really take it seriously, because again, this is basically the entire basis of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, outside of like this stuff where, you know, the stuff where you have like the time control. Makeshift stones and stuff like that, but really fantastic game. I've said this several times. I probably would play, if I was to play this again, I'd probably play it with the nunchucks as opposed to the Pro controller. But you know, the ability to turn off the motion controls when you're attacking makes it more comfortable, makes it more of like an actual game. But again, you're hitting all these buttons to kind of look around. And there were several times where, you know, I kind of got in the commotion of you know, not looking when I was supposed to look, not attacking when I was supposed to attack, because I'm not using the right button combination, which you don't have when you have the, you know, the motion controls from the Wii or the nunchucks. So, you know, I'd probably play with the nunchucks if I was to play this again. But the story is great. The graphics are phenomenal. The gameplay is very cool. And it's got a lot of unique items that you don't really see anywhere else, like the, you know, like the wind blowing bag of wind or whatever you want to call it. The bellows, I think, is what it's called. You know, you got the bellows. You've got the claws where you like dig underground and everything. Like there's a lot of cool stuff that was in this game that didn't continue on with the Zelda franchise, and it makes it a unique experience. And so, you know, I would recommend getting this game for sure. 100%. I would get this game if you're, you know, a Zelda fan and you haven't played it, especially if you haven't played it yet. But even if you have played it and you played it a long ass time ago, and you know, you're like me and you don't really remember it that much, it's definitely worth the experience. Again, I didn't do all the side stuff, but you know, that's okay. That's okay. You know, it was still a great experience, and I had a ton of fun playing it. So, 2 huge thumbs up. But that's to be expected. The Zelda franchise is one of the best ever. You know, if not the best of all time. And so there's a certain expectation when you play a Legend of Zelda game, and this meets those expectations very, very easily.